everyone, so today I'm going to be doing my Boxycharm unboxing for the month of April and show you guys all the products that I got and let you know if I think it's worth it or not. And if you are interested in signing up for Boxycharm, I do have a referral link below that we usually both get points for, so if you'd like to sign up and you want to use my link, that would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to start with eyes. Usually I don't do that. I'm more of a face makeup than eye makeup kind of person, but I just feel like doing it backwards today. So I'm going to start off with my eyes, and the first product I got is from the brand Luscious. This is called the Angel Eyes Primer, and this retails for $14. I've never heard of this brand before, and not gonna lie, it looks a little, I don't know, a little cheap kind of. It's in the color Nude, and this is what the packaging looks like. To be honest, it kind of reminds me of like the like $1 makeup you get from, what's it called, like Shop Miss A. That's just kind of what it reminds me of, but I am going to reserve my judgment and I'm gonna try this out. So I'm gonna zoom you in and see how this applies. So here is an up close of what the packaging looks like. Nothing that special, not really that cute or anything. So this is what it looks like on my finger. I'll have to see if it's a little dark for me. It kind of looks like it will be, but overall I don't think it'll be a huge deal. Wow, that's really orange too. But I'm gonna first apply this all over my eyelid. It actually kind of covers pretty well though. I feel like once I blend it in, the color's not too bad. It definitely reminds me more of one of those like concealer-y type bases, but so far it's doing a pretty good job at kind of canceling out some of that color on my eyelid. And a little bit of that definitely goes a long way, but if you want to kind of see the color a little bit better, that is what the color looks like. It's just a tiny bit deep for my skin tone, but overall I feel like once I have all my makeup on, it's not gonna make that big of a difference. So yeah, that's the primer so far. I'll definitely have to try this out more to see what I think about it, but overall, would I pay $14 for this? Probably not. All right, and next is the PUR 12-piece pressed pigment palette. This is called the Festival Palette. This is what the outer packaging looks like, so very kind of Coachella-y music festival. But yeah, let's open this up and see what colors are in here. Oh, and this also came with an eye primer sample as well. This is the PUR Get a Grip Endurance Eyeshadow Primer. So, well, okay, I got a lot of primer for this box. All right, and these are the colors. Definitely a lot of really like fun pops of color here. There's 2 pressed glitter colors here as well. We'll have to see if those are any good or not. And then there's a lot of like shimmers on this top row. There's another shimmer here, and then there's some matte colors as well. So overall, you know, not too crazy of a palette, but there are those fun pops of colors. So let's try this out and see how it works. And the value of this palette is $36. That's a little, I don't know, that feels like a little up there for this. This kind of reminds me of like BH Cosmetics kind of. So it just kind of feels like it should be a lower price range, but let's try it out. And really quickly, I'm gonna move on to the brushes because I'm gonna kind of be using these interchangeably. These are from Luxie, called the Summer Daze 3-piece brush set. It retails for $28. I feel like that's a lot for these brushes, but I have been liking a lot of Luxie brushes lately, so luckily I didn't have to pay $28 for that. You get the 512 small contouring brush. I'm gonna try that for contouring later. Get the 245 small shader brush. I'm not a huge fan of these types of brushes in synthetic hairs. I just don't like them as much. I do if I'm applying the like cream, but overall not a huge fan of those. And then the last one is the 209 large shader. I feel like that'd be a good like blending brush, so that's probably how I'm gonna use that one today. And my primer did crease just a little bit. I kind of left it on for a couple minutes while I was like talking and like digging through products, so I'm just gonna kind of blend that out again. It definitely has a little bit more of a stickier kind of feeling, so maybe that'll be good for really grabbing the shadows. So I'm gonna start with this first color here. This one is called Epic. It's a bit of like a kind of like a warm brown matte color, and I'm going to use the Luxie 209 large shader brush. The color is definitely a lot more orange than I was expecting, but I think it's a really pretty color. And I can't tell if it's just this brush I'm not a huge fan of, or if it's the actual eyeshadow, so I might have to switch to another brush in a minute. Overall, this one's like getting the job done, but it's not my favorite. It's a little bit too dense. It's better for like packing on color, but not so much for blending. To give this palette like a really fair chance, I'm gonna switch to another Luxie brush that I really love. This one is the 229 Tapered Blending. I really love this one, so I'm gonna try this one out. Next, I want to take this really fun hot pink color. That one is called Wild Child, and I'm going to pick some of that up and place it on the outer corner. I don't really have much of a plan for this look, so it's just kind of just winging it at this point. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of that hot pink color on a smaller brush, and I'm going to run that on the lower lash line. Actually, I shouldn't have done that yet because I just remembered I have not done my face makeup yet. Oh well, that's why I don't do my makeup in this order, but I'll come back and fix that later. Next, using a natural flat shader brush, I'm gonna take this color here. This one is called Free Spirit. It's kind of like a boring, like everyday kind of color, but I want something that this glitter would kind of like look nice on top of. So I'm gonna apply this to the inner portion of my lid. And then I wanna use this gold glitter here. This one is called 24 Karat Magic. Although that fireworks color is really pretty too, maybe I should do like both of them. I don't know if these are even gonna be any good, but I'm gonna first try to take the fireworks color and I'm going to pick it up on my finger, but that looks really pretty. And I'm gonna press that onto my lid. It almost has a bit of like a sticky kind of gluey texture to it, but it makes it like really stick to the eye like really well. Okay, that glitter is actually so pretty, and that might be like a really nice formula. So now I'm gonna take just a little bit of that gold color, the 24 Karat Magic, and apply that more towards the inner portion. It's definitely a color I think applies best like with the finger, just like the texture of it. But the other thing I don't like about that is my fingers are not as precise as a brush. So I feel like I'm really like, especially right here, getting it everywhere I don't want it to go. Oh my gosh, I like got it everywhere. Okay, we'll come back and clean that all up later. Now I'm gonna take an even smaller blending brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of this one here, that darkest matte brown. That one's called All Night, and I'm just going to blend just a little bit of that into the crease to deepen up the look a bit. Okay, eyes are a huge hot mess at the moment, so I'm gonna have to come back and finish the rest of my face and come back and fix the eyes later. Okay, so I definitely think the eye look kind of came together a little bit better once I had the eyeliner and the mascara on. Overall, I do have some thoughts about this eyeshadow palette. Number one, I do like that there's a lot of really fun colors in here, but overall, I don't know, it just doesn't excite me. Like, I was really excited about these two glitter kind of shadows, and they're cool and I like them, but they're not perfect. They definitely skip and they're a little bit patchy, and they definitely transfer. I definitely have hooded lids, so you can see it's definitely transferred already all the way up to pretty much my crease area, which is not my favorite thing, but overall I think the texture is really cool with that. And I think other than these like really two bright colors and these glitters, cover like those up, you're really left with like, I don't know, a boring kind of everything warm palette. So it's nothing that I feel like, oh, you have to go out and buy, but if you got it in Boxycharm, it's kind of cool. So I don't know, I don't hate it, I don't love it. Next, I'm gonna try this brush, the Luxie 512 brush. I'm gonna use this one for contouring. So I'm just going to use my NYX HD blush in the color Taupe, and I'm gonna use this to contour. I like how small this is. This is a lot smaller than the other brushes I typically use. So like that's my regular one, and it's a little bit larger. So this one might be actually really good for a little bit more of a precise kind of contouring. Ooh, I actually really do like this brush. It is so much smaller. I feel like I can kind of get it more where I want it to be, rather than just kind of like painting a huge stripe on the side of my face like I kind of did before. And it's a super soft brush, so overall I actually kind of like this one so far. I'll have to use it more and see if it becomes like a regular brush of mine. The only thing is I find that it's kind of hard to pick up a lot of product just because it is so small. I feel like I have to kind of dip back in there a couple times, but not a huge deal at all. And I actually was interested in like looking for a new contour brush, but I actually kind of like this one, and now I feel like I don't need to buy one, so that's actually really good. Okay, so overall I do really like the small contouring brush, so I definitely like that one. As far as the blending brush, overall I could leave or take it. It wasn't anything that I felt was, I don't know, that great, and I don't really love the shape of this one. It's a little bit more like longer, and I prefer the other Luxie one. This one's a little bit rounder, and then I didn't even use the flat shader brush. I just really don't like those for powder eyeshadows. Those are a little bit better for cream, so maybe I'll save it for that, but overall I'm not excited about that brush. All right, the next thing I got is from Artist Couture. It's called the Diamond Glow Powder, and this is like a loose powder. I guess it's like a highlighting powder, or I guess you could use it as an eyeshadow. It just depends on what you want. This one is in the color Purple Dream. Now it actually doesn't look purple at all. It's more of like an orangey with like a pink reflex to it. I'm gonna use this as a highlighter today. We will see if that is a mistake or not. It does have like little micro shimmer in it, which is not my favorite thing to put on my face, but hey, let's go for it. All right, so I'm gonna use my regular highlighting brush, and I'm just gonna pick some of this up and tap some of it off as well, because there is a lot fallout with these, and I'm gonna apply this to my cheeks. Definitely a lot more of that pink is coming through on my skin tone rather than that orange color. It's actually kind of cute. It's definitely like a pinky kind of reflect though, and it's definitely gonna emphasize any texture on your skin. I actually don't mind it. It's not too pink to the point where like it feels, I don't know, like out there and like something that I wouldn't wear. I feel like this is definitely something I could wear. It definitely has that little bit of a like a pink kind of shift to it, but overall I feel like it's not a crazy like pink streak on my cheeks. So actually this is kind of cute. And the shimmer is not bothering me as much as I thought it would. And this retails for $27. Would I pay $27 for this? Nah, but it's kind of cool, kind of cute. And then the last thing I got is a lip product, of course, and this is from the brand Appeal Cosmetics. I've never heard of that, and this is the Holographic Lip Gloss, and let me see if there is a color name for this one. Posh, I think it's called Posh, but it's basically just kind of like this whitish clear with like little hollow glitter in it. So I don't know, I feel like it's gonna be not really my style. Not a huge fan of glittery lip products. Has a very standard doe foot applicator, just like one of those cheap like lip smackery type ones. Let me see. Yeah, overall it's just kind of like a clear lip gloss with a little bit of shimmer, but you can't even tell. You can't even tell at all. I definitely should have like put a lip liner on. Definitely have to dip in like 10 times to get anything out of this. And that is the lip gloss. I really don't think it did like pretty much anything. I feel like you can't even see the glitter at all on my lips. So I'm not a huge fan of this one. Totally pass. The retail value of this one is $21. No, definitely not. All right, and so that is everything that came in my Boxycharm box. Not gonna lie, kind of a dud box for me this month. I didn't really, I don't know, I just wasn't wowed by anything, and there's not a single item in here that I was excited to get. So I kind of feel like this is just a bit of a bad month for me. Although I do have to say I'm so glad I didn't get the Starlux eyeliner pencil again. I am so tired of those and I really wish they would quit putting them in Boxycharm. But I don't know, I guess they're just one of those cheap suppliers that they can like get stuff to fill their box with, because I'm not a huge fan of that, and I'm so glad I didn't get it this time. The value of my box for this month was $126. Overall, I just wasn't a huge fan of this one. There was not a particular item that I was really excited to get or, you know, excited about at all. All of these I really could have just like passed on. I think if I had to pick maybe like one thing that was my favorite, what would it be? It's kind of a toss-up between the Artist Couture Diamond Powder and this particular Luxie brush, the contouring one. The other two I wasn't a huge fan of, so it's kind of between these two. The palette is kind of cute and I like the theme of it and everything, but overall it's just, besides those like two fun colors and the glitter eyeshadows here, it's really like just like a boring palette. There's nothing that really stands out at all, but I don't know. I mean, how many times can you reinvent a palette really, in my opinion? I thought that these glitter shadows were kind of interesting to play with. I'll have to play with them more because I liked them immediately when I was applying them because they do have that stickier texture and they really stick to the eye well, but they definitely transferred, and I can see like some spots where it kind of moved the shadow underneath and it kind of left like a little bare patch on my eye, which is not as cute. But I don't know, I mean, it's fun for like festivals and stuff like that, and I think it's got a good texture to it because you don't need a glitter base or like a glitter primer to adhere it to the eye. You can just use that product alone, which I really like. I just feel like there's something about it that needs to be a little bit different to work better for me. And of course I have hooded eyelids, so it's going to transfer no matter what. As far as the eyeshadow primer goes, I have no idea if it like did any better than any other eyeshadow primers that I have, but I'll definitely end up using this one. It is a little bit dark for my skin tone, but overall I can still make it work, so I'm not really complaining that much for it. But $14 does seem a little expensive for this, especially since, I don't know, it just has a super cheap feeling and look to it. I don't know, it just does. So overall, kind of a dud month for me, but I mean, do I feel like my $21 was wasted? I don't know. I don't love this box. These are the only three things I got in my box that I feel like I would reach for again. As far as the palette goes, not a huge fan of it. I mean, it was kind of cute, but overall, just nothing that special. The other two Luxie brushes I wasn't a huge fan of. The lip gloss, definitely not a huge fan of. It pretty much did nothing. And yeah, so I think that was it. I feel like I at least got my $19 worth, but this is probably in like my top 3 of the worst Boxycharm boxes I've gotten so far. So yeah, unfortunately, this one was just a bit of a dead one for me. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram. Link is below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.